the wonderful president and founder of the GNA Networking Association.
Oh, God.
Voice laying on thick.
Also known as Greek God of Insurance.
Yeah.
Let's all welcome to the stage, Elias Melas!
You know, Eric was saying to me yesterday in San Bruno, I said there's a lot of parquet and, you know, margarine and butter going around, but thank you, Eric, I really appreciate it. Okay, so now it's time for our featured speaker. And we have a tradition here at the GNA, and where is Sal?
He's like in the back, Owen.
Do you know what our tradition at the GNA is?
Go to the back.
That's right, you have to go all the way to the back. And why do we do that, Sal? Well, you can be humble, let me say it, right? And so you can make that grand entrance, right? Right. So, the story on how I met Sal. Sal's fairly new to the organization. I met Sal online about a month ago or so. You're probably wondering, why are you letting a new guy speak so soon, right? Because I've never seen anybody pay it forward as quickly as Sal has. And this is what he's done already. He's not only been to this event every week, he's been to Morgan Hill, and he's been to San Bruno. And where do you live, Sal? San Jose, right? Yeah. Right in this area, right? Yep. And you're also confirmed for Interactive Fridays on Friday, right? He's just a great all-around guy. We've had several fireside chats with him, and already know what he does, love what he does, totally support him. So Sal's here today, and he's going to be discussing the importance of following up with the people that you meet. And he's going to be giving us some great golden nuggets by sharing a little bit on how the SendOutCards Follow-up system answers some of these challenges. So on that note, I want everyone to please rise to your feet. Come on, please rise to your feet. And give a big warm cheer and welcome to Sal Jumawan! Hey, it's good to you, right, Sal? Come on down.
Yeah, you got it, you got it. How's everybody doing today?
Great!
How do you feel?
Great!
I feel great. I feel dynamite. We're going to have fun. So I'm going to keep the presentation sweet, direct to the point, so we have a lot of time to answer questions at the end of the presentation. How's that sound?
Awesome!
I got some handouts so that for those of you guys who are lazy to write, I typed it for you. Alright. And then we got some more in the back also. So while he's doing that, I just want to introduce myself a little bit. I just want to let you know, you might probably notice I'm nervous a little bit up here. This is like the biggest group I ever have to speak. There's about 500 people here. Can you see me in the back, sir? Yeah. If you can't see me in the back, let me describe myself. I'm about 6 foot and I look like Brad Pitt. I'm just kidding. I just need to kill some time while he's doing that.
That's really humble, man. I like that.
Alright, well thank you very much, Eric. Well, this is the time where I have to give credit to whom the credit's due. I really appreciate what Elias, Eric, and the team of GNA Networking have done. I've been looking for this type of networking events. I've been to the ones where you have to pay. And you know, I really enjoy that. I think it's a process of me learning and preparing myself to be here. Preparation meets opportunity equals success. Those networking events have prepared me. Have prepared me how to interact with people. But one thing I'm really passionate about is follow-up. People that I met 10 years ago, I'm still friends with them. But I've been looking for that opportunity where I can tie in that follow-up skills that I have to the business that I'm passionate about. And that's what I'm about to share with you guys. How's that sound?
Great.
Great. So, my name is Sal, and he said it right, Jumawan. That's with the silent J. I was raised and born in the Philippines. I was 14 when I came here. So now I'm about 22 now. Alright.
Not 22.
But anyway, don't worry if I go quick. You can review a lot of the information that I'm talking about from the website above. It's called socreferral.com. And then I give credit to David Fry. He's an awesome internet marketer, but at the same time he applied his skills online to share his knowledge into referral marketing. So a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about here is not my own. These are just information that I gathered together that might fit into what we're already doing. How's that sound?
Awesome.
Great, thanks. So the title that I give is the fortune is in the follow-up. Do you agree in business the fortune is in the follow-up?
Yes.
Only 2% of sales are made on the first introduction. You guys agree?
Yes.
80% of sales are done after 6 to 12 follow-up. Exposure, exposure, exposure. But most people, they follow up once and twice and they drop dead. You guys agree?
Yes.
Are we all guilty with that sometimes?
Yes.
I still find myself guilty with that. But see, I always motivate myself to keep following up. See, the key point here is when you feel that you have to follow up with somebody, do it right away. Otherwise, you're going to forget, right? So I'm going to share with you a system where you can act on your prompting. Or prompting is like the feeling of doing kindness to somebody and you act upon it. And that's the most powerful way to follow up with people. Okay? Questions? Okay, the fortune is the follow-up system that directly works with GNA Meetup group. That's pretty good, huh? Alright, questions. How many of you guys have done one-on-ones? Raise your hands again. Great. Question. What do you do with the business cards you exchange with after you meet a new friend from GNA Meetup or other networking events? Are you like me in the past where I collect so many business cards, I spend a lot of money going to conventions, meetups, networking events, and I collect all these business cards and I never met them anymore again, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, next question is what do you do after you meet for one-on-one with someone from your GNA Meetup? What do you do after that?
Put it into a very defined drip system.
Awesome, awesome. And then we're going to follow up with that one. I'm with you right now. There you go. Third is, what do you do to follow up with the GNA members you met for one-on-one to help them remember your name when opportunity arises when they talk to their network? That's something I learned when I was studying real estate before, is just you stay in touch with the people, because eventually, about 3 to 4 years, someone has to do something with their house. It's either the refi, upgrade, downgrade. And you want them, your contacts, to remember you when they're ready to do something about your business. But I think that applies to anything else, whether you sell cars or you sell cards. I sell cards. Okay. So, have you heard of greeting cards marketing system? Have you heard of it? This is not new, guys. Or what I'm talking about here is not a new concept. I'm just repeating it. Okay, this is a 300-year-old marketing system. A lot of successful people have their networks, right? Who do you know? And then they go look into their Rolodex. They know who to call. But isn't it awkward if somebody asks them, who do you know? And then I give this name, but they never heard from me anymore. There's just no value in that connection, right? So it's important that you put your name in front of their eyeballs or in their unconscious level on a regular basis. Are we all agree with it? Okay. Now, I'm going to share with you just a few of the successful and greatest referral marketers. In fact, I have the resources in the back, what book I read them from. Okay. Number 1, Harvey Mackay. Have you guys heard of Harvey Mackay? Okay. Swimming with the shark without being eaten. This is what it says, eating alive. Harvey Mackay said, short handwritten notes yields long results. In sales, never underestimate the importance of the personal gesture. And right at the top of the list of effective personal gestures sits the handwritten note. He follows, always send memorable cards and personal notes when you are reminded of a person. How about this? You just met a person, you really like that person, you go home, you send them a card, hey, it's great meeting you, thank you for sharing about your dog, right? If that person is passionate about the dog, right? That means you're paying attention. Then they might pay attention to you back even more, right? So, Tom Hopkins. You guys heard Tom Hopkins?
Yes.
Alright, awesome guy. Because I understood that building relationship is what selling is all about, I began early in my career to send thank you notes to people. I set a goal to send 10 thank you notes a day, Guess what happened? By the end of the third year in sales, my business was 100% referrals. How many of you guys would like to have 100% of your business from referrals?
Oh, yeah.
Right, referrals, there's two kinds of referrals. Referrals where the name was brought up to you and then you have to call that person. Or a referral, somebody calls you, hey, you know what, somebody so-and-so told me you're great with this. I love that kind of referral. But how would that happen if you don't stay in touch and follow up with the people in our network, right? So staying in touch is very, very powerful. With all the Facebook, it helps us leverage the stay in touch power, right? You do agree?
Yes.
How about you put the high tech and high touch? So Facebook is the high tech, right? Personal handwritten note is the high touch. Then what happens? Equals high check. Right?
High check.
High check, right?
High check. Wow.
That just came
That's
out.
nice, man.
Alright.
On the fly there,
Alright.
too, huh?
They're like cross check. Can we postpone that?
Alright. Joe Girard. How many of you guys have heard of this guy named Joe Girard? Okay. Awesome guy. You look him up on Google, you'll find him on top of the Google list. Joe Girard, the world's greatest salesperson in the Guinness Book of Records, sent over 16,000 handwritten greeting cards to past clients every month. As a result of that effort, Joe became the #1 car salesperson in the world for 12 years straight. Nearly every one of his sales came from referrals. Right?
Wow.
So what's the message here? I need you guys to buy 16,000 cards for me. No, I'm just kidding. But the point here is, that's what we're going to talk about after, is that he made the point to send handwritten notes to the people he knew on a regular basis. Because in the car business, you guys do agree, right? 2 to 3 or 4 years, someone has to make a decision that, you know, they needed to buy a new car, use a new car. But if you keep, you know, sending them the personal notes, you don't even have to say I'm the top salesperson in the world. You know, just, you know, nice handwritten note, and they'll remember that person who sells the car, right? Which is Joe Girard. Okay, one more. Bob Burke. I'm actually reading his book. I highly recommend you guys read it if you haven't, because everything that I'm learning from this book, Endless Referrals by Bob Burke, absolutely resonates to everything that we're doing here. That's why when I met Elias and Eric, I was already prepared, because I was already reading that book when I came across with this organization. Okay, this is what it said. Thank you notes are one of the most powerful tools in building a huge network, both professionally and socially. People with the most impressive networks are avid note writers. I suggest getting in a habit of sending out notes. Right? We all agree with this top referral marketing so far, right?
Yes.
Now let's talk about the 250, the rule of 250. You guys heard the rule of 250? Okay, Joe Girard, the guy, you know, the top number one salesperson in the world for 12 years. What he did, he went to funeral homes, and he went to go ask the person in there, saying, you know, on an average, how many people usually go and sign the guest book? On an average, it's about 250 people. So these are 250 people that like you and shows up when you go bye-bye, right? Right? And then he said, okay, let me go ask a party planner. So he asked the party planner, okay, on an average of a big group, how many people shows up on the bride side and the group side? It's about 250. So he came up with the 250 rule. Now, it's not facts in the stone. You can ask yourself about that. Who's your barber? You know, I don't have one.
Hey, neither do I.
Actually, Elias, I'm really excited to do this talk because this I'm really passionate about. I was in a hurry to be here that I forgot to comb my hair. Anyway, we gotta have fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense, right? You know, who's your barber? You know, who do you meet? Who are the parents of the kids that, you know, your kids were growing up with? And you collected all that, you probably end up with more than 250 people, right? So the question is, does those 250 people that you met, you know, through your life, they know what business you're doing in right now. If they don't, how would they buy or how would they connect with you or do business with you, right? So it's a good habit of letting them know. But first of all, say hi first. And it's really kind of awkward when a friend of mine, a friend you haven't seen for 10 years, all of a sudden, hey, I found you on Facebook. Hey, you know what? I'm in this type of business now. You should join me. We're going to make a lot of money. Right? That's awkward, right? If you don't want people doing that to you, why should we be doing that to them, right? So how about sending them cards? Happy birthday, happy Valentine's, happy sunny day, happy rainy day, happy whatever, Send them a card. And with that, stay in touch. You don't need to have spend a lot of money on advertisement. If you're staying in touch with 250 people, you help them remember the benefit of your business. Those 250 people might know 250 people also. You do the math. So what I've learned is when you go to a place where there's networking group, you find the person that has a sphere of influence, who likes to do the talking like me, like Elias. So I gotta do, I had to strategize this. I'm giving you a tip right now, but don't offense other people. That's why you need to kind of challenge yourself, because I cannot do one-on-one to everyone here all at once, right? I have to strategize myself to do one-on-one to those people who like to talk to other people. Like Suzanne, like Kristen, right? Like Ray. So that's how I work the GNA group based on what I learned from the books that I read. So I'm just sharing with you what I learned, okay? Now, let's talk about the challenges, okay? If there's 250 people in your database, how do you really find time sending out 1, 2 cards if you're always on the run, right? How much time does it cost to go to the store and look for the right card for somebody, the right words that says to that specific person? That's pretty much time consuming. I think that's one of the reasons why people don't do it. You do agree? Okay, some people just don't do it because they just don't want to do it. But some people meant to do it, but there's challenges involved, right? How can you send out 16,000 cards, right? Well, what actually Joe Gerard did, he hired 2 or 3 people to handwritten their notes. So instead of spending money on the advertisement, he spent the money to have somebody write the notes. That is, we forget, right? How can you remember 250 names and their birthdays, right? It's pretty hard. Even with Facebook, they only tell you it's their birthday if it's today already. But see, here's the trick that I learned. When I go visit, when I met you, Christine, and I'll look you up on Facebook. Hey, she's on Facebook. Most of the time, it has the birthday there, without the date, of course. Birthday. And that's a way for me to collect information, right? Free, without asking. And the cool part of it is that if you have their business cards and then they, they regularly go to that office, and I'll ask questions. I'll send them a surprise birthday card, right? How many of you guys have received birthday cards in the mailbox? Right? It feels good, right? Somebody remembered your birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't know the birthday of the person, you want to surprise them? Send them a birthday card anyway. I don't know your birthday, but here's the birthday card. That's over. That's too much. So we forgot. And then of course, second part is costly. You do agree greeting cards are pretty costly?
Yes.
Yeah, Kristen, we had a conversation. I really enjoyed our one-on-one earlier. She shared with me, wow, the cost of the cards in the store now are ridiculous. How much do they normally cost? About $3. And those are generic, basic cards, right? They're not personalized with their pictures yet and stuff, right? So it can be really, really costly. Okay. So now my question, if we can make it easy for you to follow up with your favorite GNA power partners, okay? And would you like to know how? Would you guys like to know how?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so right now I'm going to move on a little bit about the SendOutCards Follow-up system. But I'm just going to talk a little bit more about the benefit. I don't want to hard sell you, okay? But
That's
I'll
good.
sign you up at the end of the... but see, I'm really passionate about what I'm doing. Regardless if you use the system that I use, send cards anyway, right? Okay, so now with SendOutCards, our postcard go as low as 31 cents. How many of you guys agree that's a cheap postcard? That's a really good cost, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you pay the stamp. I think the stamps are like 31 cents now for a postcard. 44.
Postcards are cheaper.
31 cents.
Yeah. Yes.
How about a greeting card for 62 cents? Okay, handwritten. Well, I'll show you what I mean. But personalized greeting card with your message in it, right? For 62 cents. That sounds good. Now here's the cool part. We give you an access to a catalog of greeting cards, more than 17,000. You pick your favorite. You type your message. You click send. Our company will print, staff the envelope inside the staff the card inside the envelope and put the stamps for you. So you don't have to do all the work.
Do they do the auto signature?
We can do that. We can do that too. And here's the cool part. And then I've been, thinking about this because even me in the greeting card business, I meet a lot of people, right? Sometimes I find myself caught up. Like I have to send 10 greeting cards that I met today, but I'm tired already at the end of the night. So I just found out that we can also use tablets to log into our system. So after I do my one-on-one, I can send a thank you card. So that one card out of the way at the end of the day. How many think you guys is powerful? I think that's really powerful. Imagine this, you just met somebody for one-on-one and then you just tell them, hey, you know what? It's nice to meet you. Thank you for sharing everything that that I needed to know about you, and then I look forward to be referring you business. With that person that you did one-on-one, remember you, amongst the others who didn't send your card, right? Now, the thing is, how would you help that person you did one-on-one to help them remember your benefit after a month or two? Well, if that person is potential with a good sphere of influence, you really want to stay on top of it, right? So you don't need to have 250 people in your database. You work with 25 power partners in this organization. I can absolutely see it bring in cash flow into all of our pockets. You guys still agree with that? Yeah. You just pick the power partner you deal with, that resonates into your business. So with this, our system has no setup fee. You can start as low as $15. We give you all the bells and whistles. We also give you contact manager. If anything else, this is what's important. We give you a contact manager because you can buy cheap cards from a dollar store, but it doesn't have a contact manager. So what happens? At the end of the year, it expires. It's still there, right? Well, with this, even if you're not ready to send a card to somebody, every day, if you meet 2 new people that you want to add into your contact manager, at the end of the year, you would have about 670 people into your contact manager. If you stay in touch with those 670 people, would that help you move your business forward next year? Yes? So these are not 670 people, just people on your Facebook. These are 670 people who you reach personal touch with, right? So, and then of course we have a birthday reminder. You can put their birthdays in there. I'm kind of cautious with the anniversary because I might send them a happy anniversary if they just ended up with a divorce. So, 5 minutes. Okay. So that's that, guys. Right here, given everything is equal, people will do business with someone they like, trust, know, and remember. Right? You gotta help them remember your benefits. So we have the resources down here, Swim with the Shark, Without Being Eaten Alive by Harvey Markay, and then all the other resources. But I want to give a quick shout out to Kathy Strong. She helped me develop my elevator speech so that if somebody asks me, I can help somebody understand what I do in less than 30 seconds. So if somebody asks me, Sal, what do you do? I help business people make their clients feel special, so they stay so they stay loyal and they rave about my business. How's that sound?
Good.
Thank you for your time, guys. I appreciate it.
Questions? Questions?
Good questions, guys.
Anybody have any questions?
Very good.
tablets, but you experienced you can do it on an Android phone too, right?
Android phone. In fact, I tried it on your phone, so I'm almost ready to buy a phone from him. So that's how paying it forward goes.
No, but we're going to do that because it's funny because Roberta, right before we came, you can show her. And I'm going to show you something.
Right on.
It's just so much cheaper doing it your way and more efficient database, and so I just wanted to tell you that.
Yeah, just to let you know, also not only send cards, we also send gift items.
Yes.
So you want to send somebody, you really want to make somebody feel special. Imagine this, you just close a deal, real estate transaction. You know, you already got paid your commission, why not send somebody a thank you card with a brownie?
Another brownie.
Brownies are hard.
Does that come with ice cream too, Sal?
Ice cream, you said you're going to come up with a good question. Yes.
So Sal, is your website socreferral.com?
Yeah, that's short for SendOutCardsFollow-up. That website is designed to kind of repeat what I mentioned. It's about 10-minute presentation. But if you call me, I'll direct you. If you're ready to become a customer or something, I'll direct you to the sign up website and stuff. Okay.
So there's not a monthly fee?
We sell subscriptions. You can also buy cards as you go, but it costs twice more than you do. But for $15 will give you the contact manager, reminders and all that, and it'll allow you to send about 10 greeting cards. So it comes out to be like 98 cents per greeting card. So, but for $15, that will also cover your postage.
That's a month?
That's a monthly subscription. But without any contract, you can stop anytime you want. Now, if you stop it, you just run out of points, but you can continue to use the contact manager. Yeah, that's very smart for them because that will encourage you to come back and send more cards to them. But just to let you know, for $15 subscription every month, if you don't use the cards this month, they roll over next month. We learned it from Singular.
We learned it from Singular.
Now AT&T. Now AT&T.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, you would have enough cards to send out to your friends and family, even enemies.
Well, you know, Sal, they did tell you to keep your enemies closer than your friends.
Yes.
That's why you're still around.
But if you want the cards cheaper though, we have a $31 subscription. $31 subscription will give you about 50 greeting cards. Another feature that we can do is if you really want to capture people's attention on Facebook, here's what I do. I'll give you tips. Is that okay? I'll give you tips? Yeah. Okay. I meet with somebody on Facebook. You know, I get their cards, got their pictures. Usually you'll find their favorite pictures on the profile, right? That's why it's on the profile. So I grab that picture, and then we have an ability to put that picture in front of the cards. In fact, I have some samples over there if you guys want to check it out later. And that only costs you a little extra 31 cents to 49 cents. So roughly, you're not going to spend more than $2 for a personalized, customized greeting cards with photo of them. Now, here's the catch. If they receive a card from you with their photo, not your photo, most likely they'll keep that card. It's their photo, right? Right? A lot of times, once in a while I put my photo just to remind them who I look like, but small. But the star in the greeting cards is them, especially with families. Wait for my picture. Oh, you like that? Hi, Ray.
Get up today. The history of the card that you send, will it show there also? Who are the people in the past?
Yeah, definitely. This company has really robust high history of the cards that you send.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for your time. If you have any questions, I brought something for some of you guys are interested. Harvey McKay has a cool article, networking report card. I brought some of the magazine back there, so first come, first serve. You guys want? All right. Thanks, guys. Have a nice day.
Now, wasn't that awesome? So really, really nice and loud. Give them up for Sal.